the Lord gave me the message for the 144,000 that he was initiating. Okay, he's initiating the 144 now. The ministry of the 144 now. And so what people need to understand about Bible prophecy is that oftentimes it doesn't just manifest in its fullness in a second. Okay, Bible prophecy will begin and continue its fulfillment into its full measure over a series of time. So when I said that the Lord is sealing the 144, that the Lord told me he is beginning to seal the 144, what the Lord meant by that is that he's initiating Revelation 7, 1 through 4. Okay? And this will play out over a series of time, and it will begin to manifest in fuller measure over a series of time. Okay? So obviously, we have not gotten to the point where we go into all the earth as glorified beings with superhuman powers, like X-Men or something, right? But I think we will during tribulation time. We will do those things. We will travel in the spirit. We will help those in tribulation navigate dark times. And we will perform greater signs and miracles at those times because God raises a standard against the enemy. But for now, the 144 ministry has been initiated. And this is what the Lord was telling me the other night the other morning on July 4th at 4:44 a.m. He brought my eyes to the clock, and the clock said 4:44, and it said July 4th. And immediately, instead of seeing July 4th, I saw 7-4. And as I looked up, I immediately saw an underpass with a bridge that said 16 feet and 4 inches. And immediately I knew that 6 plus 1 was 7 and 4. So immediately I knew that the Lord was speaking to me a word using the synchronicities of the numbers 7 and 4. So I get to my destination and I Google 7-4, 7 space 4. And what comes up is Revelation chapter 7 verse 4. And I giggle to myself because it is about the 144 being sealed with the seal of God. And after looking up Revelation 7:4, I giggle and I look up and I see on my dashboard that it says 144 miles. And it says in the center of my dashboard, it's a compass with north, south, east, and west. And so I immediately giggle again because this is the second confirmation, like only moments later. And so I know that the Lord has a word that he is urgently sharing with me. And so I get to the house and I look up Revelation chapter 7 verses 1 through 4. And what would you know that those verses talk about how the angels are being positioned at the four corners of the earth, north, south, east, and west, so that they can seal the 144 with the seal of the living God. And so I knew that the Lord was saying that this is being initiated now. And people need to understand that it comes to pass over a series of time. Something that is not complete yet. It's just started. Okay? And what does initiated mean? It means a small group of people who share obscure knowledge. Sounds like the 144 would be this group, right? Fall into this group as initiated. And to initiate is to start something. To start, not to when you start something, it's not full yet. It's not fully complete or manifested yet. It's just beginning. And initiate means to be inducted into a group. And so what the Lord was saying by it, if you can catch it in the spirit, is that Revelation chapter 7 verses 1 through 4 is being initiated now. The 144 are being initiated now. And if you are part of this group, you know that it's true because you are living by the Spirit and you are hearing by the Spirit and you know something's different. There's been a shift. There's been a significant shift lately. And we've been going through upgrades. We've been going through an ascension. And there is something different, tangibly different. And you know it. And I don't have to explain all this to you because you're walking by the Spirit and you're catching it in the Spirit. And you know what I'm talking about. And that what I'm saying is true. And so the 144 has initiated. We have begun. And we obviously are not to the full measure of the sealment, but we have been initiated. And so you should already be having downloads of what you're supposed to be doing if you're called to this mandate. And preparing yourself and positioning yourself and getting your marching orders and going through training for what we are to be doing as the 144 in these last days. And so I just share this because I love the Lord and he asked me to share this. He asked me to make a TikTok. I told him no for 1 full year. And I finally was obedient, and now I understand why he wanted me to, because this platform is very essential to getting his words out effectively. So I got both positive and negative feedback on my message from the Lord about the 144,000. And it comes as no surprise because there is more carnally minded people out there than there are spiritually mature sons and daughters. And so it is of no surprise that people cannot catch this message in the spirit. But this message isn't for you if it's not resonating and if you don't understand it and if you're offended by the word of the Lord. Because the word of the Lord comes to quicken and to reveal and to initiate and activate the living word in the soul and spirit, mind and body of the believer. And so those who are open to the Spirit of the Lord and sensitive and reverential to the Spirit of the Lord receive the word of the Lord with gladness. And those who are carnally minded can receive nothing. They're too full of pride and bitterness and criticism. And so for those who do not have an ear to hear, my messages aren't for you, nor do I care what you think about them. I'm here to share what the word of the Lord shares with me because it excites me, it encourages me, and it makes me want to go even harder for the Lord. And so I share my excitement and I share the encouragement that the Lord encourages me with so that I can encourage my brothers and sisters in Christ and those in particular with similar callings as mine. Those of the end time army of God, the front lines, the first fruits, the 144,000. And so I'm not worried about who's offended by the truth. And so to the 144, the Lord bless you, and I'm excited and I'm so happy to see all your comments and see that there's a remnant out there.